Yeah, welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Watts. I'm your host, Watts, and today we're gonna do something a little different. A little different, something that I've been wanting, I've been dying to try out for a while. I I'm not a super avid gamer, but I like video games and I like wrestling video games preferably. Old school ones more, but I do like all of them if they're good. So I want to rank every single Smackdown game from Smackdown 1, the original, the very first PlayStation, up until now. So we shall be doing that. Actually, I'm only going to go from the very first Smackdown to Smackdown versus Raw 2011. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go from the very first SmackDown to SmackDown versus Raw 2011, since that's technically like part of the SmackDown series. So, without further ado, let's begin. SmackDown 1, the very first SmackDown. This SmackDown came out in 2000, followed by SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. Both of them for the PlayStation 1. Very good, very solid. I'll put that in the I'll put that in the you're alright category. So the you're alright category is basically you're alright. Like you're alright. Like I can get with this. I'll play it. Has replay value. Is the epicenter is the very first one. So let's put that in the you're alright category. Followed by the SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, which is another one. You're alright. You're alright. Pretty solid. Pretty solid games. I can't be mad at it. Let's do that. Uh just Bring It. SmackDown Just Bring It. This came out in 2001. It's the predecessor to the SmackDown Know Your Role, which is a pretty solid game. The game modes is right there. It's like it's arcadey. Is you see what you see is what you get. It's a pretty solid game. I played it a couple times. I've watched a couple. I watched some gameplay as well to kind of like revert back to it. But it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I like it. So we'll put that as well in the you're alright category. Now, now, what do we have here? SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. This right here, this is 100% going in the legendary category because I have six categories. God mode, legendary, you're all right, average, below average, and just straight dirt. Straight dirt. Some of these games is straight dirt, and we're gonna get into it and we're gonna talk about it honestly. But let's proceed. So shut your mouth. This is the one you could climb the SmackDown fist. Like this is to me this is peak environmental gaming, like wrestling gaming. So I'm putting it in the legendary category. Like you could climb the SmackDown fist. You could fight in outside of Madison Square Garden. Like the environmental things that you can do in this game, it hasn't been touched. They can't touch this. This right here is a different level of gameplay. Like it's environmental, and I love environmental stuff. Like I like being able to throw people off stages. I love being able to fight in the crowd, stack tables, all of that stuff. So we're putting that shut your mouth. We're putting the shut your mouth 100% in the legendary category. Um, if you disagree or like what I'm saying or dislike what I'm saying, it's a discussion. Like and subscribe. You know how that go. All of that. Like I'm here for discussions. I'm here for hard. What's that word? I'm here for constructive criticism. I'm here for all of that. So it's like you don't always gotta agree with me. We can disagree and we can live to fight another day. I have thick skin. You have to have thick skin to be freaking putting things online, because when you put things online, you open the door for people to judge you and judge you negatively, judge you positively, harshly. It don't matter. So, it don't make me no difference. I'm here for a long run. What we got next? Shut your mouth. Not shut your mouth. That was a mistake. Here comes the pain. Here Comes the Pain, PlayStation 2. Peak wrestling gaming, if you ask me. People still, it's been what, 21 years? Yeah, 21 years since this game came out. People still play it and people still hold it in high regard. Not only because of the environmental stuff that you can do. Well, yeah, that's literally part of it. Like you can jump off of the barricades, you can jump off stages, you can fight outside Madison Square Garden, you can ride motorcycles in the middle of the match and run people over. The amount of things that you can do in this game, and it hasn't been rectified or touched or changed yet, or personally, some people like me, we would love a remaster of this game. This game is top tier. This game goes into God mode for sure. I remember spending endless nights playing this game, going to my cousin's house to play this game, going to friends' houses to play this game. And they haven't really topped this yet. They've come close a couple times, but this is definitely a game that can't be topped. I remember climbing the fist, jumping off of it. I remember Hell in a Cell matches. I used to play with Rob Van Dam. I used to play with all the high flyers in this game. This is before weight distinction and stuff like that. Like it was super arcadey and it was super exciting to play. Like this is one of those games that you could pop in and you don't know nothing about wrestling, but you will 100% still enjoy it. Let's proceed. Smackdown versus Raw. First Smackdown versus Raw. It's, to me, it was like a step below, or a step like in the wrong direction, for lack of a better term, because everything they had in Here Comes the Pain, all they had to do was incorporate all of that and then put it into the new engine. If that was, because you can still do parking lot brawls, but it's just not as extensive as Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth was, where you can literally go fight anywhere. And at the time, that was the main selling point. That was the epitome of wrestling games. So the fact that they took that off is like, I don't know. I mean, the roster, and then they messed up big time with the roster too. There's certain guys that was missing from the roster that should have been in the game. And just, I mean, the story mode was calm. And I think they introduced create a belt and stuff like that. That was cool. It was like a swap. They took like a lot of the environmental, like, brawls and all of this stuff. They took that stuff out and they added create a championship, which was cool. It was cute, but they had a nice little formula, and I feel like they botched it a little bit. So this one is gonna go in the average. It's gonna go in average. It's not quite the worst game ever, but it's not the greatest game ever. To be honest, it did what it was supposed to do. But to me, at that time, I was a GameCube guy, and Day of Reckoning destroyed this. If you ask me, it trumps this tenfold. Only thing with Day of Reckoning was that the roster, the amount of space it wasn't a lot, but they did so much with just so little. So let's keep it going. SmackDown versus Raw 2006. Really great game. Really great game. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the legendary column, but it's definitely nostalgic, and I'll put it in the y'all right. Definitely a step above the very first SmackDown versus Raw, the one that came out in 2005. So I'll definitely throw that up there. It's pretty decent. I spent a lot of time playing that one as well. And then with this one, they had the Basham brothers. The story mode was cool. You had GM mode. You was able to still throw people off the stage and do parking lot brawls and whatnot. It was cool. It was exciting, but Here Comes the Pain is a tough act to follow. And they, personally, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everybody was enjoying that, and everybody's opinion is completely different when it comes to like this stuff. But if you ask me, like, it's a no-brainer, bro. Literally a no-brainer. Let's go. SmackDown versus Raw 2007. Legendary. Great story mode. GM mode was lit. Roster was lit. Soundtrack was lit. That's the main selling point of like the rest of these games going forward. The soundtracks are really good up until they weren't good, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, everything about this, and then you could fight in the crowd. They brought that into it, into the fold. Now, can you imagine if they had fighting in the crowd, and then you could throw people off the stage too? Because that was like 2006 was the last game where you can truly throw people off the stage without glitches and little mods and stuff like that that they've added over time. But yeah, you can legit fight in the crowd. They had a lot of weapons, environmental stuff. You get to choke people out with the announce table wires. It was pretty good. I liked it. I spent a lot of time playing this game because see, I still had the GameCube at the time, so I would go to my friend's house and he would play SmackDown versus Raw 2007, and I would play it along with him. We'd go to my cousin's house. He had SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I was a Nintendo guy up until I got my Xbox 360, and then once I got my Xbox 360, then I bought SmackDown versus Raw 2008, and then on, and then I eventually later on I bought the what you call it. I bought the SmackDown versus Raw 2007 just so that I can beat the game and play it myself and see how it felt to actually have the game. So I had a lot of fun playing these games. Spent the night at friends' houses and all of that playing this game. Had a damn good time. This right here, this goes into the legendary category for sure. Everything, every like minute detail, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So at the end of the day, like that right there, that's the one. That's the one. Let's proceed. SmackDown versus Raw 2008. I'm about to get my back kicked in about this opinion, but I don't give a damn. Average. Average. Definitely a step below SmackDown versus Raw 2007, if you ask me. The main selling point about this game was probably the graphics and the not the story mode, because that's the main reason why this game is whack to me. But I would say what makes this game good, the soundtrack was legendary. Had a little bit of everything. I used to play that 8-ball MJG all day. Yeah, yeah, but it was literally just, to me, it was SmackDown versus Raw 2007 without an extensive story mode, because the story mode, the season mode, that right there, it to me, bro, I didn't like it because it was repetitive. Like after you did like one thing, it kind of just was dirt after that, bro. Like I don't know, like it just looped. It was literally a loop. You would go to SmackDown and then the same thing would happen on SmackDown. Literally, it's nothing. It was nothing special about the story mode. The GM mode was calm. A lot of people enjoyed the GM mode, including myself. I'm not really a GM mode guy like that per se. I'm more of a story mode guy, or like they had the SmackDown versus Raw 2009. Like I was a Road to WrestleMania type guy. Like I like storytelling. I went to school. I wrote a lot of I did a lot of writing. I was good at writing essays. I like that type of stuff. I like English, English language arts. So that type of stuff, that right there is stuck with me. So I'm putting SmackDown versus Raw 2008 in the average category. I'm getting and I know for a fact I'm gonna get my back kicked in, but I don't give a damn. It is what it is. It is what it is. Mace voice. Let's proceed. SmackDown versus Raw 2009. Now, don't get me wrong, the soundtrack was pretty decent, and then this was the game that they added the Road to WrestleMania mode with, and I like that they added new moves and stuff like that, but this was definitely like a step below, a step below SmackDown versus Raw 2008. Definitely. Like I personally, I never really fully enjoyed SmackDown versus Raw 2008, and I thought that the way they were selling it, the hot tags, they added hot tags, they added they mostly tended to tag team stuff, so they added like tag team moves, tag team finishers, and things of that nature, which was cool. Don't get me wrong, but they took things out. They took the fighting in the crowd out. If I'm not mistaken, I truly think that they did, but they took the fighting in the crowd out. They took what else? The parking lot stuff wasn't really all that. Like, I mean, it was cool that they reimagined the locker room brawl stuff, which was fly. But nothing truly special about this game at all. Also, the wrong people are on the cover, but I guess for like what time it was, like, DX was reunited and things of that nature. So of course they was gonna have them be the main focal point, especially since they was like the main focal point of this game was like tag team stuff. So of course they're gonna add DX to it. So all right, fine, whatever, that's cool. But I'm putting in this in the below average for sure. Definitely below average. Not all of that. Not great. Um, Not that enjoyable. It is what it is. That's just how I see it. Whatever. So let's proceed. SmackDown versus Raw 2010. To me, definitely a step up. Definitely a step up. I had a good time playing this game. I did. I won't lie. Like, I liked what they also added creative finisher in 2009, I believe, but to me that still wasn't enough, because I think that they scrapped the GM mode and took the GM mode out. That was, you know, even though I didn't play it a lot, like I still wanted it in the game, you know. But yeah, whatever. This game right here, it was definitely fun. I played it a lot. That was around the time when Nexus was out, so they had the Nexus downloadable content on there, which was cool. So I was able to play as like Justin Gabriel, and at the time I rocked with Justin Gabriel crazy because of the 450 splash. If he had more of a personality, he probably would have taken off because he had the look, he had the speed, he had the tech. He was technically sound and in the ring, stuff like that. But I did enjoy it. I liked their creative suite. It was fun. I think they had to beat the streak mode in this, where like they had a select amount of characters that you do to beat the streak, face Undertaker at WrestleMania thing, and then you had your created superstar that can beat the Undertaker as well. That was cool. All of that was cool. The unlockables was cool. Um, but I definitely did enjoy this game. I won't even hold you. I won't even hold you. I definitely enjoyed this. So let's put this in the. I'll put this in the y'all right category. Y'all right. Yeah. Y'all right. Yeah. I like that. Let's proceed. SmackDown versus Raw 2011. SmackDown versus Raw 2011 was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I liked what they did with like the tables. Like the tables was would break a certain way. If you literally could do moves on the tables and they would just break without actually setting the table up, because in the previous games you had to set the table up for you to actually do like anything environmental with it. You couldn't just fucking do like a power slam or like a choke slam or something like that, and then the table